The conference room fell silent the moment my brother finished speaking. 11 rental properties, worth over $4 million. And according to him, they were all his. My family didn't hesitate. No questions. No doubt. They agreed instantly. And then they looked at me. Waiting for me to accept it. Like I always had. But what none of them understood in that moment was that those properties were never his to claim. And what I knew, what I had known for 5 years, was about to destroy everything they believed about our family. Marcus sat there like he'd already won. Relaxed. Confident. Certain. That was who he had always been. The golden child. The one my parents trusted without question. The one they believed would carry everything forward. And me? I was the quiet one. The one they overlooked. The one they assumed would never amount to much. And the truth is, I let them believe that. Because sometimes, the most powerful position you can be in is the one no one is paying attention to. I didn't fully understand that when I was younger. Back then, I thought being invisible meant being unimportant. But when I was 16, something shifted. Something no one else noticed. My grandfather noticed. Where everyone else saw silence, he saw discipline. Where everyone else saw weakness, he saw control. He had built everything from nothing. A real estate empire that stretched across Florida. He understood people. He understood risk. And more importantly, he understood character. And for reasons no one else ever questioned, he chose to invest his time in me. Not Marcus. Me. Every weekend, he taught me things no one else cared to learn. Property values. Market cycles. Tenant behavior. Financial structures. But more than that, he taught me patience. He taught me that the real power in business isn't speed. It's timing. And one day he told me something I would never forget. He said, the person who talks the most about success is usually the one who understands it the least. At the time, I didn't realize how true that was. Marcus was already chasing prestige. Big schools. Big titles. Big impressions. And everyone loved him for it. But my grandfather saw something else. He saw shortcuts. And eventually, he saw something worse. In 2019, just months before he passed, he called me over. His health was fading, but his mind was sharp as ever. He handed me a folder. Inside were the deeds. 11 properties. All transferred to me. Legally. Completely. Quietly. No one else knew. But that wasn't the part that changed everything. The part that changed everything was what he said next. Marcus had been stealing. Not once. Not twice. But consistently. Small amounts at first. Then larger ones. Testing boundaries. Seeing how far he could go. And my grandfather knew. He had known for years. But he didn't stop him. He watched. Just like I would. That's when I understood something most people never do. Sometimes, truth doesn't reveal itself immediately. Sometimes you let it unfold. Because what people do over time tells you who they really are. So I had a choice. Expose Marcus immediately. Or wait. I chose to wait. 5 years. 5 years of silence. 5 years of observation. 5 years of building something no one knew existed. While my family thought I was working a quiet, unimpressive government job, I was managing those properties. Optimizing them. Expanding them. Growing them. And all the while, Marcus believed he was in control. Every month he collected rent. And every month he stole. And every single time, I documented it. Carefully. Precisely. Completely. At first, I thought he might stop. That maybe, at some point, he would realize what he was doing. That he would come clean. But he didn't. He got bolder. More confident. More careless. And what made it worse wasn't just him. It was my family. They never questioned anything. Never checked records. Never asked how things actually worked. They just believed him. Because they wanted to. Because it fit the story they had already decided was true. Marcus, the success. Me, the disappointment. And the longer that went on, the clearer everything became. This wasn't just about money. It was about perception. It was about who they chose to believe, without ever looking deeper. Then one day, everything aligned. My father called. A family meeting. To settle the estate. To give everything. To Marcus. That's when I knew. It was time. I walked into that conference room already knowing how it would end. Not their version of the story. Mine. Marcus spoke like it was already done. Like ownership was just a formality. Like the outcome was inevitable. And one by one they agreed. Until he looked at me. Any objections? I smiled. Not because I was unsure, but because I knew something he didn't. I asked one simple question. Do you actually know who owns those properties? And just like that, everything stopped. You could feel it. That shift. That moment where certainty turns into doubt. Records were pulled. Documents opened. Names checked. And one by one, every property told the same story. My name. Not his. Mine. And in that moment, everything collapsed. Confusion turned into panic. Confidence turned into fear. And Marcus couldn't even speak. Because for the first time, he wasn't in control. I let the silence sit. Then I said it. For 5 years, you've been managing my properties. And that's when the truth finally hit them. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't a mistake. This was a pattern. And patterns have consequences. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I didn't need to. Because facts don't require emotion. I filed the report. And within days, everything fell apart. Investigations started. His job disappeared. His reputation collapsed. The life he built vanished. Because it was never real to begin with. It was built on something fragile. Something unsustainable. Something that always breaks eventually. The truth. People like to think stories like this are about revenge. They're not. They're about consequences. They're about what happens when actions go unchecked for too long. Because eventually, everything surfaces. Everything balances. Everything comes back. And even now, after everything that happened, there's still one thing people get wrong. They think I won because I exposed him. But that's not true. I won long before that moment. I won when I stopped needing their approval. When I stopped trying to be seen. When I stopped proving myself to people who had already decided who I was. Because real success doesn't come from recognition. It comes from building something so solid that it exists whether anyone acknowledges it or not. In the end, I didn't need them to believe in me. I didn't need them to understand. Because while they were focused on appearances, I was focused on reality. And reality always wins. They thought I was nothing. But I wasn't hiding my success. I was protecting it. And that protection was the smartest investment I ever made.